All right, internet. I we tried the high tech version where I have equipment and gear and theoretically things, but unfortunately, it looks like it is much better in this new internet time to just give you guys the old school YouTube live content, which means I'm gonna need a minute because I'm gonna go over here so I can see the live chat. So we're gonna get this figured out, and I appreciate your patience. And I look forward to the day that I don't have to open a stream with an apology about trying to get a stream going, because this is not how I wanted my channel to be. But unfortunately, in the middle of all this, I can't quite have people over to help me out because I am self-quarantining in my own thing. So I'm going to jump on the plugged in internet here so I can see the live chat here, because apparently this is already better picture and video, which boggles the mind. The fact that it's better on my Wi-Fi than a plugged in cord doesn't make sense to my born in 1988 brain. You'd think a cord would be better than the Wi-Fi, but here we are. Thank you guys very, very much for jumping over to this next wave of page. All you guys missed from the other channel was I was talking about the craziness of the world since 10 days. So my last live stream was 10 days ago, and in that time, everything has changed. So we're going to work this all out. Yeah, you know, the picture is better. That's crazy to me. Okay, so world, internet, everyone, ignore the microphone. We're going to do this old school just like this. Boom. Wi-Fi. Yep, here we are. This is the madness. Yes, it's working. Okay, so we are here in both live chat, and I'm here with you guys. Hello, welcome back, post self-quarantine Coy. On my other stream, I briefly talked about Black Widow, the importance of movie theaters. I'm going to talk about those things at the end of the stream in case you're joining it now, but if you've watched both, I don't want to be redundant. So I'm going to talk about New Mutants and Black Widow at the end of the stream. I also had a bunch of graphics made for what comics I was going to be talking about. You can check out the 9-grid graphics of the comics that I'm reviewing on my Instagram. In the future, once I get this sorted out, I'll be doing the comic review graphics and also preview graphics. So if you go to a comic store, or if you're ordering comics online, which is the safer choice right now, you'll be able to see what covers they are. So every comic I mention, there'll be a cover to associate with. So that's a lot easier because comics are such a visual medium. It's easier to go to the store and be like, it looks like this. So once I'm using my laptop and have the hardline internet, that is the way we're gonna go. So again, thank you very much for joining this second stream. Y'all are amazing. I love the Koi Pond. You're the best. Let's talk about the insanity of all the cancellations. Now, I was out on Wednesday night, and you know, let's not even make this episode about news, and let's have an actual conversation, because I am very much trapped in a very small space. Self-quarantining has taught me a lot about how much I hate being on my own. Self-quarantining is teaching me about learning to love spending time with myself, and it's going to be a learning curve, man. This has been a very, very tricky situation for me mentally. So we're going to talk about everything as if you guys are right here with me. This isn't Collider Heroes. I'm not sitting at a desk. I'm not giving you guys news. I'm going to tangent. I'm going to go here and there. We'll see if you guys like that format better. I wrote some notes down, but I'm going to meander. Apologies if you want a straight line. It's not happening. So I was out on Wednesday, and I was at a red carpet. I was around a lot of people, and while I was at this red carpet, it was announced that the NBA was canceled. It was announced that Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson were tested positive for coronavirus. It was one of the most surreal experiences to be in a public place and to be as paranoid as everybody around you. The event itself was amazing. I met a lot of really cool people, but it's been a really, really strange time to be in LA and be in the industry I'm in. And I also just moved, which is why this is also chaotic. I've lived here for 5 weeks without the internet, and I finally got the internet, and now you're seeing all those situations. So last night was my first time on Netflix since the quarantine, and that's been crazy. So yeah, Wednesday was all that madness, and I talked to you guys last Sunday, so it's only been 10 days. It literally has been not a lot of time, but I feel like the world has completely changed. There are no more sports. Movie theaters are all completely closed. AMC went from 50% capacity to 50 people in the theater to completely closed. I'm personally happy they did that. I was worried about the safety of all the employees. I was worried about the people attending the movies. I know a lot of people aren't taking this as seriously, i.e. Florida spring breakers, but it's not necessarily you that you should be worried about. It's the people you affect that you don't even know. So it's really scary, the ramifications of all of this. And to be honest, this to me has just taught me how selfish we can be. If there's a fraction of a chance that I could cause someone harm by going in public, I'm not going to. So I self quarantined on Thursday. I had talked about on my last podcast, Coy-Cast, check it out if you guys haven't, how I was going to go to the gym on Wednesday, and that was the last time I went to the gym because then I researched everything that week, so a week ago. And I just I strapped in. So I've been working out at home. I've been going on a lot of runs. I've been doing all those things because you don't know how you affect other people. If you say you're a runner and you look at your runs, like if you map your runs, everywhere you go, that's humans and houses and all those things. It's this really visual moment of impact. And then if you think about every single person you interact with on a daily basis, everyone you're within a few feet of, that's hundreds of people. If you're in a city, that's thousands of people. So the idea of going out and living your life regularly is terrifying because you don't know which of those people has a grandparent that is ill or just immune compromised. You don't know which of those people has someone in their teens, 20s, 30s that's immune compromised. So it's just, to me, it's extremely selfish to think that you're doing it because you value your own life more than safety to like, I'm gonna live boldly. Like that's just not cool. So I've been in this very small space since Thursday. I've gone out twice, once to the grocery store. I'm gonna have to go back out again probably in a week, and I'll be picking all those things up. So yeah, in the meantime, you guys just be safe. This thing's terrifying. It's the first of its kind for our generation to live through something like this. So just, I think the movie theaters closing. I think sporting events closing. I think retail closing is for the best. We don't know how long this is going to be. The good news is we'll be able to, see what we like about ourselves. We'll be able to clean our houses. We'll be able to learn a new skill. We'll be able to read. We'll be able to do all those things we put off. And it's going to be really interesting to see what we come out of this like, because to be honest, I will appreciate every moment so much more when it's back. I'm going to appreciate movie theaters like you wouldn't believe. I love the theater. I'm going to appreciate every hug. I'm gonna appreciate every party. Like I already am so extroverted, but now it's gonna be like at an 11 because it's been so hard not to be around other human beings. I've been FaceTiming, and right now we're all talking, and I've been Marco Poloing and all those things. But like there's community. Like that's why I think streaming is really tricky, because I love that people have access to so many movies, but there's nothing like the movie theater because you're experiencing it together. And I know everyone's going to have those comments about how bad people are in the movie theater and how much, the sound bleeding over and people talking and all those things. But sure, those are things depending on the theater you go to. But there's also the feeling of every dramatic gasp and every big moment of action, every payoff at the theater. Like when you have that with another 100 people or 300 people around you, that feels different. The moment Thor landed at Wakanda will never feel the same at home. It'll feel great, it'll feel amazing, but that feeling, that rush, there's nothing like that. So I miss the public, I miss being out, I miss community. I'm very excited to get back to the world. So appreciate what you got right now, though, right? Like I'm learning to dig solo time. Not easy. So that being said, with the world of streaming, I want to know what you guys are watching. I want to know what you guys have been enjoying. I want to know what you guys are into. I'm going to try to do this show twice a week. I'm going to try to get it all sorted out so I can have graphics in there. I've never watched Community, so I think the first thing I'm going to do for a review of the show is review Community, because it'd be a fun journey and it's a time capsule. So I'm really intrigued by I'm a huge Donald Glover fan, so I'm really excited to have new Donald Glover content. So the first thing I'm going to be doing on this show is reviewing Community, because there's no movies to review. So we're going to dive into those next. I'll also probably talk about whatever I find on Netflix, all the random madness. On Hulu, I'm going to check out Big Time Adolescence. That's what I'm watching probably tonight. So I'll talk those things for sure. I want to talk about the madness that is scheduling. Now, with all these movies, I'm wondering what's going to change about long-term scheduling. Are we going to live in a time where there's less carving stuff out 5 years ahead? Are we about to live in a time where the movie theaters don't open for 6 to 9 months and everything has to be realigned? Are we living in a time where we can't have movie theaters for a while? It's insane. I've heard everything from like opening in late April to September 2021, and since we don't know what things are, I'm just keeping my options open. I'm hoping for the best and expecting the worst. So I'm really curious what you guys think about the way we schedule movies. Has that forever shifted? Because I know the Disney's lost billions of dollars because, you know, Mulan and Antlers and Black Widow and all those things. Like, is that going to be like less of a popular concept? I know the Batman had a release date and that got delayed. It's going to be really, really insane. Let's see what everyone is watching. I wanna see. Alex Garland's Devs is super high on my to watch list. Apple TV people are digging. The Plot Against America is a new HBO series. I will check that out. My mom is watching V Wars. This Is Us, The Runaways. Yeah, I'm just saying, This Is Us and The Runaways might have been some suggestions her oldest son has made. 100 Bullets is a fantastic time. Also, it is an incredible time to catch up on comics, y'all. We're gonna do a good amount of comic stuff at the very end of the stream because there is a lot to go over there. Let's see, Jason with the super chat. Thank you, Jason, for the super chat. On a more happy note, I wanted to let you know my nephew loved the Swamp Kid and Spider-Man Venmo Double Trouble books you recommended for him. Dude, that makes me so happy, man. Oh, that's incredible. Swamp Kid is such a good book. The author is incredible. It's an author and artist. Like, he does both. So that's incredible. And the Spider-Man book is so much fun. I am so glad. Thank you for the super chat, and I appreciate you, Jason Ritchie. That is such good news. Now is a great time to discover new comics. Comixology currently has Y the Last Man free to borrow. So if you guys don't have Comixology, it is a free app where you can buy a bunch of comics. There is a ton of incredible content you can borrow for free. So if you don't have access to a library right now, like we all don't, it is a way to have a digital library. I love holding comics, but if you guys are in a financial strait, now is the time for Comixology. Now is the time to legally access tons and tons and tons of free comics, because that is a world out there. Image just put out a ton of free number ones. Check out what your comic community is doing so you can actually access all comics, because now is a great time. Let's see, 31 of 100 movies on a 100 movie challenge. That is incredible. Collected edition comics. There are so many. There's a world of comics I would recommend. Actually, you know what? Since this whole live chat got so messy, I feel like I was trying to make this like a professional debut. It's a new month, it's March, and we're gonna be all crazy, but instead, I want to make this the least professional, and we're gonna go on a journey. Check it out, guys. I'm gonna show you some of the graphic novels I'm currently reading. So this is my current spread. Now, I am gonna be checking these out over the next few weeks because I've finally caught up. I finished this recently, like right before the show ended. I reread it again. I'm going to be diving back in through the Sin Cities. If you've never read Exterminators, it is a really weird time. I highly recommend it. I also think that checking out some OG Batman is a really fun journey, especially with like the world we're living in right now. Yeah, so let me know what you guys are reading, and also buying Blu-rays is very important when you don't have internet. I have been enjoying my dive back through. I just rewatched the Dark Knight trilogy because I had it on Blu-ray, and it's been a really cool time. Yeah, let's hold off being professional typer first. I like that. Let's have an April Fool's Day professional show. Let's be the most counterintuitive. I'm into it. Maybe that is what's going to happen. Once I can have someone over to help me set up the space, I am planning on having Joey or someone to help me make this a legit thing. But until then, you guys are great with me using the cell phone, so hell yeah. In the interest of news, while we're casually talking madness, the people that are being diagnosed and testing positive, it's a tricky time. Like Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson, Idris Elba, Daniel Day Kim, Olga Krylichenko, like some of the most beloved people in this town, like some of the nicest people. It's been really crazy, but it makes sense that people that are surrounded by that many people, like it's just a rule of statistics, right? Like, to work a day on set, you might have to fly there. So you're going through the airport, that's thousands of people. You're getting on a plane, that's a couple hundred people. You're getting driven to the set by someone with a Lyft or an Uber or a car service, probably a car service. And that's going to be a round of contamination. Then you get to set, and there's hundreds of crew members. So I feel like it's going to be really scary, the amount of people we appreciate in pop culture that are going to be affected by this, because it's going to be affecting them first. Statistically, just like law of averages, they encounter more people. And also like the tests that are getting out there, we're going to see a lot of that. So it's going to be crazy. And then, a lot of athletes, they're interacting with dozens of people as well. It's really interesting time. So my heart goes out to Idris Elba, Tom Hanks. If you guys didn't check out, Idris Elba had an incredible live chat where I feel like he actually got a fair amount more relevant information in a calm and controlled manner than a lot of our, official government uh, chats. And he has the damn thing, so I was really impressed with how he handled getting that all across, because that must be terrifying. But it is Idris Elba, so he's very strong. He's very young. I'm hoping his immune system is golden, so he can take care of this thing, and we can be very excited to have Idris Elba in the next thing. It's just scary to think about. Like, it affects everybody. So if you guys are considering just living your life like normal, think about the ramifications, because it's pretty fucking crazy. I want to talk about the Guardians of the Galaxy being in Thor 4, because it's been 10 days, and that happened right around the time all this lockdown happened. I didn't get a chance to see Bloodshot because I didn't think I should go to the movie theater. I was planning on going to the theater the day that I realized the stakes of all this, so I opted out of it. I want to see Bloodshot. A lot of people are saying it's not the best, but I want to give it a shot because I like a lot of things a lot of people don't like. But while doing press for Bloodshot, friend of the show, Brandon Davis, was talking to Vin Diesel, and basically he revealed that the Guardians of the Galaxy are in Thor 4, which means Thor 4 is the closest thing to an Avenger movie we have on the slate. That's a giant team up. We got all the Guardians plus Thor, and it makes sense with the storyline. What's also interesting to me is that originally Guardians 3 was supposed to come out before Thor 4, but because of the James Gunn firing and then him getting hired at DC and then coming back to it, they had to move stuff around. So I imagine all the crazy storyboards and all that alignment must have been interesting to reshape that story. But the thing that I'm excited about is now we get Taika Waititi directing Guardians of the Galaxy. We get Taika humor with the Guardians. That's so much fun. I cannot wait for Thor 4. I was already excited for 4, but now it is right up there at the top of my list. What's also really impressive to me is if the schedule maintains, in 2021, Marvel has managed to get all of their movies out in release order, in the order of sequel they're in, which is just statistically improbable. Like, how did they possibly manage that? Like, it's fully crazy. The last one coming out is Thor 4, and then we have Spider-Man 3, and then we have Doctor Strange 2. Like, it's 2, 3, 4. That's crazy. So I just thought that was nutty. So if everything holds true, that is the way things are going next year. I'm very excited for Taika and the Guardians to team up, and then as well as Thor and the Guardians to team up. So that'll be fun when this all goes back to the world being what it is. What else happened in the last 10 days that isn't just dark and dire? I'm going to be going through the comic stuff in just a moment, but I gotta find a way to do that since I was planning on doing it not on my phone. So I gotta pop over to Instagram. We'll talk comics with you guys. I've been able to finally, at long last, catch up on my comic books. I was 3 weeks behind, and then the magic of taking time to myself happened, so I have caught up on so many comic books. So I'm gonna go through the last 3 weeks of comics with you guys and recommend some stuff. Now is a great time to catch up, great time to discover some new content because we have more time than ever right now. So let's kick it back to the last week of February. That was the last thing I reviewed with you guys. So the week of February 26th, I highly recommend Amazing Spider-Man Daily Bugle number 2. It is comics from the perspective of the day-to-day people, and it is a really cool look at the Marvel Universe from a journalistic perspective and as a pseudo-journalist, internet journalist, whatever you want to call it, whatever pedigree. I love authentic journalism, so this is a really cool book for me. Ant-Man number 2. Ant-Man is so good. I've got Ant-Man number 3 2 weeks later. Ant-Man is a really, really clever book. This is him fighting the Nazi bee-man known as Swarm, which is a very funny book, and the irony of that is all in there. Batman Curse the White Knight number 7. Curse the White Knight is one of my favorite Elseworlds ever made. Batman Superman number 7 continues to be one of the prettiest books in the game. Detective Comics number 1020 is a fantastic ride. Fantastic Four Grim Noir number 1. If you're looking for single issues, if you're looking for just one-offs, this is a great one-off with Ben Grimm, the blue-eyed thing. It's a really good book. Far Sector number 4. Far Sector has been a fantastic side mission book. It's like Green Lantern or Space Cops. This is like an off-the-beaten-path cop book. Fantastic time. Amy's doing this book club over on Twitch. She's talking about Far Sector over there as well, so check that out. Amy Dallin, the ever lovely. And now, once this is over, hopefully a team-up happens with me and Amy. We had some stuff cooking, and then this all went down. Giant Size Jean Grey and Emma Frost number 1 is such a staggeringly beautiful book. It has barely any words in it. It's just art. It's told through art. Yes, Soul Amy does have a book club. Check out her Twitch. She is killing it talking about Far Sector. We got Jessica Jones Blind Spot number 4. Jessica Jones, a great noir detective character, handled beautifully over in that book. We got John Constantine Hellblazer number 4, one of the darkest, more depraved books in the game. It is a mess. I love it. It is Hellblazer. Kill Lock number 3 is better than I ever would imagine it could be. It's about a bunch of robots, and there's more humanity in those robots than I feel in most people. It is such a solid book. Sex Criminals 27. I'm so glad Sex Criminals came back. I am a big fan. Chip Zdarsky on art. Matt Fraction writing the damn thing. X-Force number 8. Every one of these X-Force books has impressed me. X-Men number 7. Jonathan Hickman doing his thing on X-Men. And then Chip Zdarsky writing X-Men Fantastic Four number 2. All right, let me see. Buff Ben Stuffed, thank you. That means a lot. He just said that the video I posted on Instagram helped him decide not to go out to public events, and that means a lot to me. It was hard to be that guy, but I think it was really important to get that message across. All right, let's kick it over to the beginning of March. The first week of March, my favorite books from the first week of March are Batman number 90. James Tynion IV is doing an incredible job taking over the Tom King mantle on Batman. It is such a good book. This book is fun. It's full of rogues. It is inventive. It's crazy. It's great. Black Cat number 10. Black Cat, Jed MacKay's Black Cat. One of the most consistent books on the shelves. Number 6 is one of my favorite comics of the year. It is fun. It is different. It is how good Black Cat can be. She's such a great character. She's rarely written this well. Check it out. Really solid book. Daredevil number 19. Guys, Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil. Can't say enough good things about it. It is going to be looked back in 5 years, one of the most important runs of all time. It is so good. Doctor Strange number 4. Mark Waid writing The Surgeon Supreme. It is basically Stephen Strange with his surgeon abilities back while also practicing magic. So he's got the day job as a surgeon, also doing magic at night. Fantastic book. I'm going to say fantastic a lot today. It's my word of the day. Flash 750. It's insane that Flash is at issue 750, and this is a solid anthology issue. Lois Lane number 9. Greg Rucka writing a grizzled, pulpy, detective-y Lois Lane. Really solid book. Magnificent Miss Marvel number 13. This is the closest thing to Silver Age Spider-Man I've read in a long time. She is protecting her city. She's a small-town superhero. She's a friendly neighborhood. She's dealing with her family as well as her expectations at school. It feels like Silver Age Spidey, and it's so good, and it's teaching me a lot. I don't know a lot about the Muslim religion and culture, and Magnificent Miss Marvel every so often has like these little morsels of knowledge, and it feels so cool to be learning and being entertained in a comic book. I love the Miss Marvel book. Check it out. Marauders number 9. Kitty Pryde, aka Kate Pryde, is a pirate saving mutants on a pirate ship. A damn good time. Strange Academy number 1. Now, Strange Academy is so much fun. It is... Doctor Strange is tricky to write. I don't like a lot of Doctor Strange books. Right now, the fact that there's 2 I dig is a rarity. It is basically Hogwarts for the magic of Marvel. So it's got magic with a K, the character magic, Doctor Strange leading a school of magic. It is so much fun. I'm a big fan of it. Strange Adventures number 1, my most anticipated book, has not disappointed. I am in love with this book. It is a balancing of perspectives. It is basically showing that your perception is all in your head. So it's 2 different artists. It is Mitch Gerads and Doc Shaner, written by Tom King, and it's either the lead character is a war criminal or a war hero, and you see both sides of the perspective. I love existential crises. I love looking at the world in unique ways, and this book's doing that. I'm a huge fan. I can't wait for issue 2. Superman Villains number 1 is Brian Michael Bendis writing the story of the unmasking of Superman and how people react. This is the villains. It has 4 of my favorite panels of Lex Luthor of all time in it. Basically, after he reveals himself to be Clark Kent, all the villains are calling Lex Luthor, and he's got 100 voicemails, and they're all from the Joker. And it's the Joker saying, like, you didn't know! And then there's a bunch of panels of ha ha ha, and it's inspired. It's a very, very solid book. I'm going to click over to Streamlabs to make sure I haven't missed anything over there, and then I'm going to go to last week's books, which will be the March 11th books. Let me see if there's any Streamlabs that I missed. I want to make sure that if you guys are asking stuff, I am getting to them. Okay, no, just the Super Chat. Excellent. So if you guys want to ask anything, I can't keep track of the live chat because I'm on my phone. So do Super Chats because they'll pop up in Streamlabs, and then we'll have this all sorted. Hopefully when I stream again on Sunday or Tuesday, this all makes sense. I'm going to call Joey after this and we'll sort it out. So I'm going to click over to March 11th. Oh, also, good news for any of you guys that are patrons. Since I have internet, will be able to do watch-alongs soon. So one of the tiers in my Patreon is doing watch-alongs, and I want to do reviews of movies you want me to talk about. I want to do watch-alongs where we actually watch the movie together. There's a Discord over there in the Patreon where we're going to be jumping on live chat. So since we're all trapped together, I wanted to make a community. So the Koi Pond actually has a community over on the Discord and Patreon. And since I have the internet now, I can finally start doing all of my patron responsibilities. I have felt so bad I haven't been able to in 5 weeks, but I can kick that off. So Patreon is about to get spicy. I'm really excited to get over there and hang out with you guys. And also, with the world the way it is I could not appreciate you guys more. Every Streamlabs, every Super Chat, every Patreon thing helps, so thank you. We also got week of March 11th, Ant-Man #3, continuing the most badass, insane Ant-Man run in a long time. Batman's Grave #6. This is a Brian Hitch drawn book, and it is some of the coolest choreography. Like the framing they use for the action in this book is so inspired. I love the art in this book, and the story's great too. Very solid book. Decorum #1. This is a new Image book. Decorum is an assassin book dealing with the code of honor that assassins have, and it's really cool to have this new mythology built. It's very like John Wick, like your ethics in murder. So it's a fun book. Gwen Stacy #2. I am a big believer in characters that should stay dead, stay dead. Bucky, he came back in a way that I love. Gwen Stacy coming back as Spider-Gwen, I love. Ghost Spider is a fantastic book, and I didn't think we should ever have a Gwen Stacy that wasn't alternate dimension, but this book is back in the 60s. This is her and her dad, George Stacy, as like a buddy cop duo, and it stays contained, and I love the character of Gwen Stacy, so it's great to have her back. I'm a big fan of this book. Hawkeye Freefall #4. Clint Barton is very funny. Finally, a funny Clint Barton book in the right tone. Freefall, very funny. This is a great Daredevil jab in it. There's some great Daredevil commentary in this book. Awesome book. Immortal Hulk #32. If you watch Koi Cubed, you know how much I love Immortal Hulk. I don't even have to tell you how good 32 is. It's incredible. Jessica Jones Blind Spot #5. We just talked about #4. This is the I believe last or second last, maybe second to last. It ends around here. It's either 5 or 6 issues, but this is a great climax book. Marvel Spider-Man Black Cat Strikes #3 from the Spider-Man PS4 game. All of the books labeled Marvel's blank. Marvel's Captain America, Marvel's Avengers. Those are the video game universe. So this is the video game universe Spider-Man, a Black Cat book, which is so cool. So this is a great story of Black Cat set in that universe, and it's a really fun book, and I've been really digging it. Leah Williams, I believe, is writing it, and she's killing it. New Mutants #9, the art, the writing, the scope, the adventure. New Mutants has been killing it. One of my favorite X-Men spinoffs. We've got Punisher Soviet #5. Warren Ellis writing Punisher is always a very dark time. This is one of the more graphic war books I've ever seen. And it is messy, it's brutal, it's hard to read, but it's really good. So if you're into that sort of thing, that is a fantastic book. Superman #21 is Brian Michael Bendis. Mongol is now coming into play. Very different take on Mongol than I've seen before. Really cool book. Thor #4, Donny Cates. Donny Cates is so good. He got me to like Silver Surfer more than I ever have. This is taking over Jason Aaron's 7-year run. That's a hard thing to do. Thor is, if you're going to buy one new book, I would say Thor. Thor 1 through 4 have all been top-notch. Nick Klein's art, Donny Cates' writing. I've been reading them out loud sometimes just to hear the language out of my mouth. It's that good writing. It is so good. So check out Thor if you haven't already. Also, I will have an exclusive interview with Donny Cates on this very page as soon as humanly possible. I just need to download it. I have it on a Dropbox. I need to edit it and post it. It is a 45-minute interview with me and Donny Cates. He talks about Thor, talks about Venom, talks about Thanos. It was a great time. I've known Donny a long time, so to see him succeeding like this makes me so happy. He's killing it everywhere. I can't wait to share that with you guys. We've also got Venom #24, another Donny Cates book. It's Venom on Venom Island, and it goes to crazy places. That book's a lot. And then our final pull for the last week that I've got covered is X-Men #8. X-Men, Jonathan Hickman did a lot with Hoxpox, and this is the world of Krakoa that he has shaped. Solid book. I'm going to be reading all of the books from the 18th, which was yesterday. the next couple days. So I'm either going to do a stream on Sunday or Tuesday where we'll talk about this past week's books. Then we'll be up to date, and I'm going to be able to do some graphics and actually incorporate all of this stuff for you guys. And hopefully it all isn't technically difficult with all the madness. I really wish YouTube was as easy as just doing this right now, because this is lovely that I can just press live stream and talk to you guys. All right, I am checking Streamlabs again because I saw that word pop up in the live chat and I don't know what it was saying. Okay, let's click over to back to the world of various news. It seems, and I got this headline through SEN, if you guys don't know Schmodown, there's an entire news channel Christian's running, SEN, and it's still killing it. He's still got stuff going on. It's awesome. It's a great, you can internet in the news. Like, I want to jump on as a guest. So I'm going to try to hit up Christian and be popping over in SEN. It's a really good source of news, and it's a really good place for levity and fart jokes that are fantastic. Apparently, the movie theater industry is trying to get a bailout like Wall Street does, like all these other giant corporations do because of this chaos, and I'm personally for it. I would love if we look at art the same way we look at money. I'd love if we look at art the same way we look at big corporations. My last tangent on this stream today is it's really interesting how we don't value art the same as other kinds of education in this country. I feel like when they started cutting theater and music and art classes in school, it was really interesting because what's the first thing you do when you're upset? What's the first thing you do in an apocalypse? What have we all been doing? We've been turning to the things that make us happy. We've been turning to books. We've been turning to TV. We've been turning to movies. We've been finding ways to entertain ourselves, and that's what we have right now. I haven't used calculus once in this apocalypse, and there are people that need calculus. There are people that are absolutely using science and chemistry to save lives. I'm not disparaging those things, but I am so sick of art not being respected. We look at Italy and the singing in the streets and all those beautiful things, and there's so many countries that value art and artistic integrity and the importance of community, and I feel like if anything should be looked at differently after all of this is it's how much we value or don't value art. It's the first thing we've all done in these dark times. We need it. So I'm hoping we can get some sort of support from the government. Hoping we can get some sort of system figured out where art isn't disrespected like it has been. I mean, obviously, if you watch this channel, you know how much I value comic books and movies and TV shows. That's all art, and I feel like in this country it's not valued nearly as much. So the bailout's an interesting concept. I'm really curious if that all goes down. I'm really curious if we can have these balancing checks come out. I mean, I've heard everything from $500 to $1,000 a household to $2,000 a person, and I mean, I'm not working. You guys aren't working. Something has to happen, and I'm really curious of what can happen, how we can balance this, how any of us are going to pay rent in 2 weeks, how any of us are going to eat in 3, or 1. Like there's so much worse off than us. If you have the internet right now, you're better off than 90% of people. So I really hope we come out of this stronger. I really hope we can come back as a community. I'm really hoping that this all turns into something better than ever and not limping along. So I don't know. We'll see what this turns into. But this bailout's an interesting thing, and I don't know what's gonna happen. And I just know that I'm glad I've got YouTube, and I'm glad I've got you too. I'm glad you guys are all here with us. So I'm gonna try to do more of these. And we'll talk about comics and movies and all the art that I think is really important here, and I want this to be kind of a safe space. So I'm going to try to keep politics out of it as much as I can. I do have very strong feelings about a lot of the things going on, but I don't want to alienate 50% of you if my opinions are different than yours. So I'm going to try to keep politics out of it. Sometimes I'll slip, and for that I apologize. But overall, I want this to be a place where we can all just kind of hang out. So with that in mind, let me know what other things you guys want me to talk about. Let me know what kind of content, if I up this to more days, we can do. And each and every one of you that throws anything at Streamlabs or Super Chat or my Patreon, it truly has never meant more. So thank you very, very much. Now, I'm going to go back to this 2 stories that I covered on the first stream that is now gotten lost to bad, choppy demographic madness, and that is Black Widow getting delayed, the importance of theaters over streaming, and the New Mutant stuff. So if you guys were in the first stream, this will be a repeat, but if you guys weren't, this is what I wanted to open the show with. So here we are, back to the beginning. The Ouroboros of Koi Cubed is Black Widow. I think is very important for the movie theater industry in general. I do not want the movies that got delayed to go to streaming. I understand we all need entertainment, but there's hundreds of thousands of movies online. I understand that those movies need to get released, but I think we should wait and have those be released in the theater. I think the movie theater is so vital to this country. I think the movies are so vital to American culture. I think if we let any of these movies come straight to streaming, not something like Frozen, which I love what they did. Frozen already made a lot of money. They released it to streaming. Invisible Man made a lot of money. They put it on streaming. Those things make sense. Those movies already had their bandwidth. They were already set up. Onward is tricky because it was only out for 2 weeks and it was during all of this madness, and now maybe should go to Disney Plus. I'm not sure. But if we start releasing things to streaming before they go to theaters, people aren't going to see them in theaters. That costs an entire industry its livelihood. Every employee, every distributor, everyone that cuts trailers, everyone that delivers the physical movie, everyone that does anything at the movie theater, the concessions, everything. Movie theaters have always been backed into a corner because of the infrastructure of overcharging for food to keep the lights on, by having to have so many employees. Like, movie theaters have already been in a bad way, but I've always said how important they were. I think Black Widow is a very, very divisive thing. It's a line in the sand. If Black Widow goes to Disney Plus, I'm afraid it's the end of the movie theater. So personally, I don't want Disney to do what NBC Universal did with the things they've already had released. I've not heard of anything going straight to streaming yet that hasn't already had its time in the sun. The Hunt is also tricky because that got delayed forever and now it's going to streaming. So Bloodshot, it had a week and now it's going to be $20. That movie's not going to make nearly the money it would have, because if you've got 10 people, that's the limit, right? 10 people watching it for $20, that's $2 a ticket. If you go to a matinee, that's at least $6. That's 3 times the value for the movie theater. Now, movie theaters and movie studios, I think, split 50-50 on average. That's $3 versus $2. That's already a giant shift, times exponentially how many. And that's just the matinee prices. If you're living in LA, a movie ticket's $15 or $16. So that's the difference between $8 and $2. Now you're talking exponential increases in money. It's a completely different thing. I think movie theaters are important, so I hope these things don't go straight to streaming, because I think that'd be a very dangerous, slippery slope for everything. The other thing I wanted to talk about was New Mutants. We got news right before all of this madness that New Mutants was not a creature of reshoots. And Josh Boone, the director, had a really good point. You couldn't reshoot New Mutants because the kids all grew up so quickly. When would they have done those reshoots a year later? Everyone looks extremely different because they're kids. That's a really good point. I hear the additional photography happened when it was supposed to. I'm curious how those rumors got so widespread, but for me, that newest New Mutants trailer was so good. This is another movie I don't want to go to Disney Plus. I've waited the 2 years to see it in theaters. I want it to be a theater movie. And the last shot we saw before all this madness was the sound editors finally finished it. Sound design was wrapped. The movie was finally done. And in the background of all the sound editors on Josh Boone's Instagram is frickin' Demon Bear. We finally have a shot at Demon Bear. That's amazing. Demon Bear is one of the craziest characters to exist. How is that going to be in comic books? I mean, in theaters, because that's a crazy character in comic books. I'm so excited. So fingers crossed that we get New Mutants in theaters. Fingers crossed that all of this can end quickly. The more you guys stay home, the more you self-quarantine, the more options we have to open things back up sooner. I don't know when it's going to be. I don't know what estimates to believe. So I'm just going to hunker in. But fingers crossed for New Mutants and Black Widow in theaters where they belong. I think I'm going to wrap it up, because combined with all the stress the other stream, this was about an hour of stuff. But I also have seen a couple people in here saying fitness stuff. I'm trying to post some fitness stuff on my Instagram. I've been doing this thing where, this is the curls part of the show. I've been doing this thing where I'm trying to make my dumbbells like a barbell. So I'm trying to replicate as many of my at the gym exercises as I can. So I've been using dumbbells as dumbbells and also as a barbell and trying to structure that way. I'm trying to use my limited space. I've also been running. I don't love running until I've been doing it for about 3 weeks, and then I finally find that rhythm and that runner's high. Once I love running, it's magic, but until then, I hate it. So I recommend everyone that is feeling stir crazy, get outside and run. It doesn't matter if you run 0.1 mile or 1 mile or 10 miles, start. Now, my thing personally is I'm OCD. I've got fairly bad like OCD, which I don't know why is I don't like to talk about that sort of thing, and that's a really, I'm gonna work on my like exposure to mental health stuff, because it's we all are mentally ill in various ways, and I think it's weird that there's a faux pas in this country about it. So I have fairly bad OCD, so I like to add 10% or go 10% faster or both to all my runs. That's how I stay motivated. I'm always chasing that cart in Mario. Like I'm always like I'm Yoshi in Mario Kart. I'm always chasing my last Yoshi, that ghost of Yoshi. So I want to either be 10% faster, go 10% farther, or both. So I started this workout regimen with 2 miles. So the next run I did, I wanted to do 2.2 miles and say it was 11 minutes, which it was. It was a very, for me, that's my rate. For me, that was a slow run. I want to get down to 8 minutes. So that is a 3-minute difference, right? 8 minutes to 11 minutes is 3 minutes. So I wanted to run 30 seconds faster per mile to get down to that. So 10% faster, 10% longer. So my 2.2 mile run, I tried to chip that away. I was able to. So now I'm running, today I ran 2.75 miles. That's where I'm at on this scale, because I went 2.42, then I rounded up to 2.5, now 2.75. Doesn't matter. I want to get to 5 miles. That's the goal for the next 2 weeks. That's where I want to be. So find little things like that that make your brain work, that make you happy to be doing things, physically, because endorphins and dopamine and all those things are vital to staying sane in this madness. And then I also would recommend push-ups, pull-ups. If you have a pull-up bar, great. Lifting heavy things at home, finding home workouts. Don Saladino is my favorite Instagram follow for fitness. I just shared a bunch of his stuff over there. Don Saladino is a fantastic trainer, and he's doing a bunch of at-home workouts. So he'll be releasing stuff. I'm going to be releasing stuff. I'm not an expert. He is. Check out his at-home workouts. I'm also going to try to have that corner of things on here. And speaking of curls, I'm really curious about the Khabib-Ferguson fight with UFC. Is that going to happen? How is it going to happen? I'm fascinated. I want that fight so bad. I hope everyone can do it safely. We will see. But yeah, so that is the curl side of this show. I think we've covered comics, cinema, and curls. The Coy Cubes trifecta is accomplished. Thank you guys very much. I'm going to check Streamlabs one last time to make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, hey, we got another one. Smack Talk 7, man. Smack Talk, you're always great. I appreciate you very, very much. Smack Talk 7 said, hey, Coy, quick question. Which Patreon tier grants access to your Jane Fonda-style workout video? That definitely exists. Smack Talk, I'm going to be honest with you. If this quarantine goes through the summer, there is almost a 100% likelihood I'll be in this space, in spandex, playing 80s jams, probably Huey Lewis and the News, probably some Kenny Loggins, and I'll be doing all sorts of Ty Bo, maybe some saxophone playing. It might happen. Who knows what might happen? So, Smack Talk, you be careful what you ask for, because I'm feeling super crazy and manic in this quarantine, so things could get dicey, and there could be some really, really messy Ty Bo-esque, yeah, dark times. You don't want that. Nobody wants that. In the regular chat, I don't know how my bike speed is. I don't have a bike. I have a Burning Man bike, but it's not here, and it's covered in crazy Burning Man like gook, and I need to clean it. Mile and 10 for you. Excellent with the sharks. Hell yeah. Make sure to keep that up. It's only going to get faster or go farther. Fantastic. My goal is 8, so we'll make that happen. Everyone keep each other motivated. I'm losing people in the viewership because I'm talking about fitness on a comic book show, but that is what I want the show to be. I want to encapsulate everything. So apologies if you watch me just for comics or just for movies. I'm trying to incorporate all that jazz into the stuff. But I want to know what you guys are doing, and I want to know how I can help you guys stay motivated, because we're all in this together. We're all trapped together. In fact, we're all closer than ever. We're like neighbors now in this situation. I have 2 microphones. Someone just asked what those are. I currently have this blue USB microphone, which I was not using today because I was trying out the one that came with the camera, which is directly attached to the camera. This is literally just a studio mic attached to I've got a JVC 4K situation. I'll see if I can find like a book and tell you which exactly it is. But I will let you know on the next show, because I'm going to wrap this up. You guys are amazing. Thank you as ever. I appreciate your patience. Thank you for watching. I'm going to try to do another one of these on Sunday or maybe sooner, because I'm going insane. I will talk to you guys very soon. Thank you as ever for being here, and thank you, comic books, for existing. Y'all are amazing.